Okay, today I'm doing part 3 of 4. I'm either going to make 4 or 5 of these videos. This is the Nokia 2780. I have successfully put in a 128 gigabyte SD card. It was only designed for 32 gigabyte SD card. So as far as I can tell, I'm the only one with a YouTube video out about this. And I want to say the results are conclusive. It works. And let me show you. So here's the file. Here's the SD card, and you can't really see. Hold on, let me go to settings so you can actually see it. So I'm gonna set this stuff down and I'm gonna focus. Yeah, here we go. So storage. Okay, one thing, you gotta enable USB storage before you do anything in this video. Next, you're gonna want to download a program. I'm gonna show you the program real quick. It's called GUI format. Hold on, let me zoom in so you can see it. You see GUI format. You get that from a YouTube video. Let me show you. Which video was it? This one. I got it from this channel, EETIO. Great video, 3 minutes, amazing, very detailed. How to format USB SD card above 32 gigabytes to FAT32 in Windows. So let me go ahead and show you that it was successful now. You can see external says 119 gigabytes. The manufacturer on the web, or not on, I tried to go to the Nokia website. They don't have details on the phone. So this is the second best GSM Arena, whatever it's called. It says here that it has a standard disk high capacity slot, but standard disk high capacity slot, like you probably won't be able to see it with this camera, but okay, yeah, you can see it says HC underneath standard disk. All right, underneath micro it says HC. So pretty much what happened was, what happened was I had a 512 gigabyte SD card that I went ahead and used this GUI format, this program right here, and I put it into FAT32. And then I took that SD card and of course I used this dongle to convert the 512 SD card, which I'll go over in a minute. I popped that 512 gigabyte SD card in here and I tried to boot it up, right? When I tried to boot it up, it showed the KaiOS symbol, it showed the Nokia symbol, made a noise, and then it got stuck with Nokia in the middle of the screen and it just never booted up fully. It stayed like that for 3 hours. I got concerned. I went to a phone store. They took the battery out, even though I was concerned that it might brick the phone. That's not how this happened, but this phone bricked itself overnight. Not sure what's going on, but this phone is not completely dead. I'm going to make a part 4 and try to get my data off of it. I was supposed to do that in part 3, but I gave up on that temporarily so that I could just get an SD card in here, which I successfully did. Anyways, so I'm going to get to the process of it now. So first things first, you're going to want to look up your KaiOS device or the device that you'd like to convert the SD card into FAT32. Pretty much, if your device is designed for standard disk high capacity and you have a standard disk that's a micro SD card that is above high capacity, meaning if your micro SD card is bigger than 32 gigabytes and your device says, hey, our device is made so that you can put up to 32 gigabytes in it, there's still a way to put, like I already showed you, there's a way to put bigger SD cards in a device that was only made for 32 gigabytes. And I say that because of this form. Look up r/KaiOS. How set our KaiOS micro SD size limits. Go ahead and look this up yourself. I'm just going to get straight to the point. One dude says exFAT is the issue. exFAT file system. So I'm going to go ahead and read this in a second. I'm going to get this dongle set up and then explain exFAT and the dongle and stuff. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is on this dongle, yours might be different, but this is the one with like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in one. It's a type C USB. You can get a type A USB also that plugs into the normal USB. Either one is fine. This one's apparently faster. I don't know. One detail, you cannot connect a hard drive and an SD card at the same time into this dongle. Don't know why. You can connect two SD cards, micro SD and standard disk, at the same time, and you can use the dongle to put data from the micro SD onto the standard disk or vice versa. So that's one thing to know if you guys are curious about that. But anyways, here's how you insert the card. So the first one, the standard disk, it goes upside down in the bottom slot. Boom, and it doesn't have a spring, it just slides in there, right? The next one, you don't need to, I'm just doing this for example's sake. The next one, this goes into the top. Instead of having the prongs facing up like this bottom one, you're gonna have the prongs facing down and the label, the red piece, facing up. To do that, you push in slightly. It should be easy, it shouldn't be crooked. If it's crooked, you might have it backwards. And then whenever it's ready, you push it, you'll hear a click, and the spring mechanism will lock it in place. And then connect it to your computer. Of course, I have my hard drive, so I'm just gonna I should do this the proper way, and you know what, let me do this the proper way. I'm gonna go ahead and eject my hard drive by clicking here. Eject hard drive, give it a second. Hard drive ejected. Now I'm going to come back here, unplug my hard drive, plug in the dongle, which I can barely see. There we go. It's plugged in. Now we're going to open the file system just so I can show you how to do this. So first things first, this guy, there's two forms that I looked at. One form, let's see, I'm trying to find the form. Yes, one form, incorrect function, E is not accessible. Don't know what happened there. Let's just try that again. Boom, E, it's loading. I'm gonna pause this video. Okay, I had some kind of technical difficulty, so I went ahead and took out the standard disk card that was in there and just left the micro SD card in there because that's the one we're actually working on. I just had an adapter in the adapter. I had an adapter in the adapter with no micro SD card in the adapter as adapter. So if that makes any sense, that's why the error popped up. But anyways, make sure it's plugged in here. Okay, it's plugged in. We're gonna go to, first off, two things. There's three things I want to mention on these forums, and then I'll cut to the chase. So first thing is, this guy mentions that, okay, so again, this is r/KaiOS. This form is titled Max Micro SD Card Size Trick. The other one, which is more important, is titled, it's obviously r/KaiOS. How set our KaiOS micro SD size limits. Look up these two forums, read them, they're going to help you. But in this one, in Max Micro, it says here, somebody mentioned, there's two things I want to show you. Oh yeah, also notice something with KaiOS. If the SD card is below 900 megabytes, aka fake 8 gigabyte SD card capacity is 484 megabytes, comma, partitioned it so that it would pick up so that it would work without files getting corrupted. It wouldn't be deleted/mounted. Basically, this guy is saying if you buy a fake 8 gigabyte SD card, pop it in your KaiOS device, it's not going to show up. It's not going to even be detected. So make sure you're getting a real 8 gigabyte SD card, or just get a 16 gigabyte to be safe. Or I say just go ahead and get a 32 gigabyte. Or I say go ahead and get a 128. Shoot, and if 256 works in the next series, then I say get a 256, but I haven't tested that yet. So this is the next thing I want to show you on this particular form. This may be late, but I wanted to ask if formatting a large SD card, example 64 gigabytes or 128 gigabytes to FAT32, will still allow me to store more than 32 gigabytes worth of data in an SD card, please. I have more than 32 gigabytes worth of music, each file just a few megabytes over. That is just one of the problems I've been seeing with my Nokia 2720 flip. So here's a 2720 flip. This is the 2780 flip. So this should work on, theoretically, on both devices. It for sure works on the 2780 flip, which is a more current, I think it was released in 2020. I'm running out of breath. Anyways, so back to this form. One more thing I want to read. These limits, right, again, this is the, how set are the micro SD size limits. Go ahead and read that. Pause the screen if you want. Don't read it if you don't. Basically, the guy says the only way to confirm this is to grab a larger SD card and test it in your device. He mentions that if the firmware for a particular phone is rigged not to take the cards of a certain size, that would suck. It also means the manufacturer of this device is a jerk. Once I read that, that let me know that these devices probably will take a larger SD card than 32 gigabytes, even though they're designed for 32 gigabytes. Once I read that, I got hope and faith, even though I had already tried 500 gigabytes and it failed. So again, read these these forms, they will help you. Next, I went to this video. This is the channel name. This is the video title. Pause it, screenshot, look it up, whatever you want to do. Really helpful video. I downloaded the program, which was in his description. It's this one, FAT32 format for Windows. You don't need this one. He says that you do, but I didn't use it and I was successful. So let me show you what I did. First things first, open your files. Obviously, you got to connect your micro SD card to a dongle, or if you have a slot in your laptop, go ahead and plug it in the slot wherever that's at. I don't have a slot, so I had to get an adapter. Next, you're going to want to go to, it's not showing up. It's weird. Hold on. I don't know why it's not showing up. Give me a second. Disconnect and reconnect. I don't know why it's not showing up. Okay, there it is. Alright, so you can see there's a couple Android files on here. I'm going to go ahead and delete them just because I am going to use this for something else. I'm going to reformat it anyways, which means also when you reformat an SD card, it deletes everything. So back up everything on your SD card onto your hard drive or onto your laptop or a thumb drive or another SD card. It doesn't matter. Just back it up somewhere because you'll lose everything when you format your SD card. Okay. Next. Important step, make sure you do not format your hard drive for your laptop. Do not format the device itself. Do not format your PC. Format only the USB drive. You can click on either one, it doesn't matter. Right click, show more options, or it might say format. So, okay, it does say format. Format. You can see default FAT32, exFAT, NTFS. I think NTFS is for like computer storages, and then exFAT is for any storage that's above 32 gigabytes. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you this. Give me a second. Okay, pretty much you can skip about a minute ahead in this video if you are gonna watch that other video from that YouTuber who made the original video on how to format these SD cards. But if you just want to watch my video, I'm gonna give you an example with this card. This card has 120 gigs of GoPro footage on it. It is not a micro SD adapter, it's just an SD card. That's why I'm using it as a storage, because I don't have a camera, so what else am I going to do with it? Anyways, this dongle will, like I said, allow you to accept an SD card and a micro SD at the same time. Once you plug in the SD card / micro SD card, you can see I renamed them just to make it easier to rename them. You just right click, show more options, give it a second, and pause it. It only took a second, and then you hit rename, or you can just rename it in a second, but it's really important to rename it so you don't accidentally click on the wrong thing whenever you're in this GUI program, because it's not as obvious as it is here. First thing you want to do is you want to go to the the SD card / whatever drive you want to format. Right click, format, or if it doesn't show up, hit show more options and then hit format. Then this is what they call just a basic format. This is the format system that is installed with Windows. It's the default, etc. This is nothing that I downloaded afterwards. This is just the basic program. So you can see it says the capacity. Now you notice this one only has two options. It doesn't say FAT32. It says NTFS or exFAT. That's because this is a 128 gig SD card with 119 free, or 119 usable. It's fully filled up right now, but the point is you can hit restore to default, or you can hit quick format and hit start, or you can unhit the quick format and just do a long format, which is what I did, and it worked. I'm pretty sure either one will work. In the original video, he just does a quick format, so I'm sure that would work fine. Another thing is make sure that you have it on the right kilobytes. So if it's 128 gigabyte SD card, I think you put it on this one. I don't know. That's what the default was. And then you hit start. It's important which one you pick, by the way. So I say watch the original video, but this is what it was on when I first started it. It's a 128 gigabyte SD card. Makes sense to me. I'm just gonna double check by looking here. Yeah, pretty sure, because that's the other one I did whenever I did the 512 gigabyte SD card. Anyways, so 128. If you have a 256, hit 256, and then you hit start. It'll do a basic format. I'm not going to do it because when you format it, it deletes everything on the SD card, and I have, like I said, 120 gigs of GoPro footage that I don't want to delete, so I'm going to hit cancel. You guys will hit start on that. Once that finishes, it should take literally 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on that drive now that you formatted it. You're going to want to hit properties, and you're going to want to look here and see that it says exFAT or whatever the default is. Okay. Then from there, you're going to want to, of course, I'm going to close that out. From there, you're going to open the GUI program. It's going to ask if you want to do changes. I hit yes. I haven't gotten infected yet, so hopefully my malware service works pretty good. But okay, this one again is the 100. Oh, why does it say big? Oh, I know why it says big. 118 is the standard disk that I put in there. So if you wanted to format micro SD, it would, it'd say removable storage or external storage right here. You can rename it by just clicking there and writing in what you want. Allocation size, since this is a 128 gig SD card, and you're gonna change it, of course, to FAT32, as you can see at the top, you're gonna want to click on the 32 option. That is gonna change it to the allocation of the partitions to 32 kilobytes or whatever it's called per whatever. I don't know how this stuff works. I just did it and it worked. Then you can hit quick format, or it should be checked by default, and then hit start. Again, if I do it, it's gonna delete everything on the card. So make sure you back everything up before you do this process. Like I keep saying, hit start, give it a good minute, should be done, and then close. And then you're gonna wanna open this up again. For example's sake, I'm going to show you the other one because it's already in the right format. You're gonna hit properties, and you're gonna see that your 128 gig SD card says FAT32. Now, of course, since I didn't actually do it, mine doesn't say that. Mine says exFAT. But the important thing here is that iOS devices do not accept exFAT. You have to switch it into FAT32. That's what this process is for. And now I'm going to begin the process of putting my MP3s onto this 128 gig SD card, and then I'll get back to the video. Okay, so now all I've done is just bring up two separate file systems, put them side by side so it's easier to transfer stuff. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna click on the device with the SD card in it. After you format the micro SD card, obviously turn off the phone, take out the battery, put the SD card in, put the battery back in, turn back on the phone, plug it into your computer with a cable that supports data transfer. It can't just be any cable. This happens to be a cable from Dollar Tree, which does support data transfer, so I just got lucky. But anyways, Once you plug it in, it'll show the device here. You'll click on it. It'll show 119 gigabytes of storage free, or if you had, obviously if you loaded stuff on, it'll say something different, but you can see it says 1.53 gigabytes free of internal storage for this device. So I'm gonna click on the SD card. Has some stuff that it automatically loads onto the SD card. The phone loads that stuff on there. Next, I'm gonna go into my most recent audio backup, which is this. You can see that I had 32.9 gigabytes of music. So my issue was this device was designed for 32 gigabytes of music. The SD card only has 29 gigabytes of available storage once you actually put it in the phone. So this 32.9 gigabytes, I was just like, what do I do? What do I do? And like, I don't want to delete some of my music just to fit it on the SD card. Luckily, this whole thing worked, and I'm going to show you right now. Copy. It's going to take a good hour or so to transfer those 32 gigabytes. But once it transfers over, I will continue the video, and I will play a song on the phone, for example's sake. And while we're still rolling, I'm going to go ahead and show you. Yeah, you can see it says 1 hour remaining. So I'm going to go ahead. You can already see the data starting to compile on there. But I'm going to go ahead, now that there's at least one song on here, I'm going to go to the music player. And I'm going to let it scan for music. I'm going to go to songs. Let's go to albums. Look, look at that. And you see every time it flashes, it's updating because it's putting songs on there as we're looking at it. But okay, it's not going to let me scroll through, but let's just pick, how about, okay. Look at that. Oh, this is a good song. See, plugged in my headphones, you can hear them. So in an hour, I will continue the video. Okay, quick tip about KaiOS devices. This is running, let me show y'all real quick. This is running KaiOS 3.1, I believe. Device information, KaiOS 3.1, as you can see. Hold on. 3.1. So that means that if we go to the Kai store, of course you got to turn on your Wi-Fi or data for this to work, and then hit the search, go down to music, wait for it to load, download this app called K Music. I read somewhere on one of the forums said that this is the best app for music on the KaiOS platform. So we're gonna go ahead and open it, see how it performs. Where's it at? Okay, I don't know, I'm just gonna go to the download menu if I can figure out how to get there. Here it is, K Music. Boom. Okay, so you can see has several features. It's got ads apparently too. Track. Nice, you can search songs. You can't do that in the stock app. Menu. Playlist, external playlist, which is nice because, let me show y'all why. Because for simplicity's sake, if you want to do playlists on your flip phone and you don't want to have to mess with this, type all the playlists in and name it and all that, you can simply go in here and create multiple folders inside of one folder. You can see I said all other MP3s, audiobooks. These are some random MP3 files I found in the download section, so I named it that. This is from one of my old phones. I actually had the new school Galaxy Z Flip, not Fold, but anyways, that thing broke in a year. So this was the music. I had to switch the motherboard just to get my data off of it. So when I backed it up, I backed it to an SD card, and this is where it was at. Anyways, and this is the newest MP3s. I would show you how I download MP3s, but I'm recording with that device, and I don't know how to download stuff on my laptop yet. I'm kind of scared because of like viruses and stuff. Long story short, um, with K Music, um, hopefully it'll let you choose external playlists using those folders that are in there. So you could just make a bunch of folders and then put your songs in there depending on which folder you want it in. I'm gonna have to wait until all these are uploaded to my phone before I can test the features on it, but highly recommend K Music. All right, this finishes off this YouTube video. Finally got done uploading all that stuff onto the phone here. Let me just go to the settings and show you. Storage, SD card. It's taking a while to read. I like that. There it goes. Music, 32.8 gigabytes. Not sure what movies is. I will find out eventually. Anyways, yeah, that's this video. I'm about to use this smartphone, get a VCF file of all my contacts, export them off the smartphone and onto the flip phone. That way I have all my contacts on here and I don't have to upload them into that Gmail bull crap, because I'm not a big fan of Google, so I'm not even logged into any accounts on here. No email. I tried to use Proton Mail, as you can see here, but it wouldn't load. It kept giving me errors, so I got to use a different mail service. But other than that, I will make a part 4, try to unbrick the 2760, and give you more updates about this 2780 after I've been using it for about a week. Thanks for watching.